What you're about to witness is me making a video, and it's kind of half done, which is not even an understatement. It's actually an overstatement. Sorry, it's a quarter done. It was gonna have animation. It was gonna be longer, and then I just thought to myself, I'm just gonna upload it where it is right now, and just add this as an explanation to its unfinishedness because I do not care enough to put my time and energy into this when the holidays are coming up. I have bills to pay, and I just do not care enough to waste my time with this. And on top of all that, I will be putting a link to the actual video in the thing, which by the way also shows how much effort I wanted to put into this, where I turned what was 5 minutes of the video into 20, and it's a 40-minute video, and I just said to myself, I can't do this for that long. So apologies on my part, but I would say enjoy, but I know you're not going to. Hello guys. Obviously it's been a bit of a hiatus. I haven't really made anything. Haven't really felt a need to make anything. I'll be literally making a rebuttal video to this bigger channel, simply because I was disgusted by the clickbait of it. I have a clickbait thumbnail, but my god, do you really gotta be that clickbaity? Other than that, let's get into it. I'm so sorry that I am back like this, even though this video is actually going to be in probably a month in the making. But yeah, let's get this underway.
Feminism. Women get treated no differently than animals. There you go. You want your feminist message? 11 out of 10 game.
Oh my god. Dude. Bro, like... I get you're trying to do clickbait. I get it. But like...
I can't remember the last time that I've been genuinely disgusted with a video game, and that is not an exaggeration.
Last of Us 2, anyone? Last of Us 2? I'm just saying. I'm sorry to say it, but someone gotta say it. Last of Us 2?
This is not one of those cases where I just tell you, oh, another modern game sucks. But yes, this game does suck, but that's besides the point. That's just a dime a dozen in this era. No, Silent Hill F genuinely disgusted me. This game is some of the most overt anti-natalism, anti-marriage propaganda that I've seen in years.
Okay, two things. You said anti-marriage, which is a religious thing, first of all. So, as someone from America, I believe that people are allowed to express religion as much as not religion. Because that's the thing. And I'm actually very against marriage being a state function or even a cultural thing, because to me it is sacredly a function within God. So, if anything, what you just said to me is sacrilegious. And two, for anyone who doesn't know what he just said, using the fancy word anti-natalism is the philosophy view that basically says that having kids is one of the worst things you can do. Like, it's gonna ruin your life. It's sinful to even think about having a child, and the very idea of procreation is evil in a sense.
I think it's pretty clear that the F in the title stands for feminism.
I actually have nothing to say, because technically he's not even wrong, but that's also because of its theming. It's not technically feminism, but it is based around flowers and female. That's like literally what the F stands for. So I can't even like argue this point. He's actually factually correct. Yeah, no, that's essentially what it stands for. But I will add this bit, which is that you played a game not liking woke or feminism, and then you played the game that marketed itself as feminism.
Not a good game, period. The combat is like bad Dark Souls.
So, Dark Souls. The combat is like Dark Souls. Have you played Dark Souls? Now I'm confused of what you have actually played.
For some reason, there's a devil trigger from Devil May Cry in this as well. It is some of the most clunky jank combat, and not in the way that, oh, classic survival horror games had bad combat, so it's okay for this to have bad combat too. First of all, that's a lie. There's nothing wrong with classic survival horror gameplay, no matter how much revisionist history shill YouTubers tell you. There is nothing wrong with the classic Resident Evil or Silent Hill games. You can play them right now and have a good time.
First things first, no, you can't play the original games for one reason, Silent Hill 4 is ass. Other than that, yeah, 100%. Try the classic combat of the other games that you've mentioned, like the Resident Evil franchise, or even the other Silent Hill games that are also not 4. 100%. On the combat, however, let's just play this clip where he misses an attack on an enemy because he clearly has never fucking played a game. Maybe you shouldn't have picked hard, buddy. Maybe you should have went with journalist mode. Just saying.
This combat system was genuinely infuriating. And you might be thinking to yourself, okay, so it's...
Ooh, as they say in the business, swing and a miss. That's 2 very bad dodges. Clearly, as you can see, he dodged incorrectly to any fucking Dark Souls players. You don't dodge too early or too late. It was very obvious when to dodge and he didn't do it. And then he spammed the button, which then made him dodge immediately again, therefore getting hit by the second attack. Showing, again... You're bad, my gamer. I'm sorry to tell you.
It's more left-wing propaganda, and the combat's bad. Is it at least scary? No. It
is not scary, he says. He also then admits that 80% of games he will also say are not scary. No shit, it is not fucking scary. Shut the fuck up.
Even if you take away the clear propaganda angle of this game, I don't think the story is good. In fact, it's ridiculous. I'm just going to spoil the whole game right here in the intro, so you better click off the vid now.
As we all do, spoiler warning.
But basically, this entire game is just a hallucination, a drug trip. A depressed chick in her 20s is reminiscing about her teenage years.
Literally every Silent Hill, which is a hallucination created by a mystical thought. I'm sorry, but a hallucination caused by LSD actually sounds more realistic than a hallucination caused by dark, mystical, Native American, 1,000-year-old fog. I'm just gonna say this.
She pops some pills and then goes on a murder spree at her wedding. Somehow, the average Japanese woman, oh, she's a little taller than average, kills a bunch of grown-ass men and women with no guns. I guess she just beats them to death. She's that badass.
Instead of explaining how retarded it is to point out, oh, wow, Jay beat them to death, I don't care how big Charles Woman is. I just want to show you a clip of what, again, if you're at a wedding, which means you probably have a knife for the cake, what a trained fighter looks like against some basic bitch with a knife. I just want to show this real quick.
Challenges, our contenders were ready to face what was going to arguably be the Celtic Defense Championship's hardest challenge yet, the Shank Tank, where each participant was going to enter a closed environment together with a knife attacker and then defend against them for 20 seconds 5 times in a row. The attacker's rubber knives will be covered in red paint, while the contenders will be wearing Marshall's custom-made anatomy shirts in order to track knife wounds. The first contender to go was the champion of the first season, MMA fighter Jeff Chan, who now had a chance at redemption, since in season 1, almost none of the participants, including Jeff Chan, survived even a single round against the knife attackers in the same challenge.
I offered to go first, not realizing that probably have the hardest because the guys have the most energy.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
This is a knife.
I definitely decided to not try the same strategy as last time, which was go for the double legs this time. My strategy was to try to keep it striking.
Is everyone good? You all ready?
While many videos claim to teach effective knife defense, in reality, few of them, if any, actually test their techniques against an attacker who is fully committed to doing damage. The truth is that it's way more difficult to defend against a knife attacker than most people think, and instead of looking like the movies, reality is usually much closer to what you see here, even with a trained fighter. And although Jeff Chan displayed great use of the Atomic Bear self-defense pen, leaving him with no more uses of it for the rest of the championship, he did not do enough damage with it and suffered too many injuries, officially not surviving the first round.
So class, what did we learn today? Did we learn that people who've never been in real fights don't know what they're talking about when it comes to combat in video games? Yes. Did we learn that it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman? If you are the person with the weapon, you automatically have an advantage? Of course. What else did we learn? Oh yeah. Do not let idiots speak about real combat scenarios in man versus women fights if they have never been in one. For all I know, this man has probably been in many fights against women. Possibly even beat the shit out of them, which to be fair, very unwoke, very, very woke of you to do, man. Not gonna lie, treating man and equal, man and woman so equal that you will support beating someone else's wife. Bravo, man. You clearly know what you're fucking talking about, first of all. Second of all, what the fuck were you even thinking? Holy shit. Like, I've been in street fights. I've been stabbed before. If someone has a knife, you either run or you die. And it's very obvious that she killed everyone who didn't run. That is why. Idiot.
Yes. This game is an absolute joke, dude. I cannot believe there's a prominent YouTuber, and I'm not going to say who it is, but you already know. Let's just say it involves increasing your skill upward in some way.
Hello, yes, that me. How's it going, huh?
Imagine comparing marriage to chopping off your arm and slicing your face off.
Imagine comparing, I don't know, love to something as serious as commitment and sacrifice.
I don't care if Japan in the 60s, women had no rights. This game was released under the current political climate.
The current political climate of Japan?
They knew that this is left-wing propaganda. And the main writer for this is the guy who made Higurashi When They Cry, which...
Weeb, everyone point and laugh, look at the weeb, he's a weeb, guys, weeb confirmed. I don't know what the fuck he's saying, what the fuck is this show? I don't know, I don't watch it. Weeb, look at the weeb, everyone point and laugh at the weeb.
The story is encouraging Japanese people not to get married or to have kids.
Or, it's the factor that maybe you don't want to have a kid in an era where your currency means absolutely nothing and continues to do so. Natural disasters are absolutely everywhere. In fact, I think it was like 3 years ago, they had a major blackout, and only a few months ago, an entire sector of fucking Japan was just wiped out by an earthquake, injuring and killing multiple people. So, I don't know. Maybe there's that maybe might want people to maybe not have kids. But go on and keep blaming foreigners. We'll see where that gets.
When their country's birth rate is already in the toilet and has begun importing dangerous immigrants, just like all the first world countries in the...
The dangerous foreigners in question, by the way. Just that way everyone understands who is coming in and basically what they're doing into image.
And ask Western women how happy they are with their financial independence and sleeping around with hundreds of men in their 20s as they find themselves. Oh wait, they're the most miserable they have been in recent history.
Alright, it's video time. How about we ask a single mother in Japan how she became a single mother? Because of course it's always the women's fault.
I DM'd Ray for an interview to learn more about this Brazilian story of being a single mother in Japan and being able to support her only daughter through her VTuber activities. Ray graciously agreed to answer my questions, so now I will tell her story. This story begins with a Japanese girl falling in love with a particular individual. Sadly, he ended up being a playboy and Ray got dumped. If things couldn't be even more intense, she found out that she was pregnant.
The day I found out I was unexpectedly pregnant, I felt anxious. My parents were repeatedly in and out of the hospital, and I don't have any siblings. I wasn't sure if I could raise a baby properly without anyone to rely on.
She was definitely on the fence about giving birth, and to complicate things, Ray was a physically weak person, so people around her was concerned about whether she could safely give birth. What shifted Ray's mind was her familiar duties to her father and grandmother. Both of these family members told Ray personally that they wanted to see the face of her unborn daughter, and these very words influenced this young woman to give birth.
My father received a terminal prognosis and my grandmother was already of an old age. I wanted to make them happy while they were still alive, and this feeling also motivated my determination to give birth to Reika-chan.
It was important to mention that Reika's birth itself was a difficult one. Due to Ray's weak physical body, she was actually in critical condition during the child rearing process. It got so bad at one point, the doctor approached Ray's father and asked him, "Do you want to save Ray or Reika?" Thankfully, both did their best to persevere, and so Reika safely came into this world.
God damn, it's almost like, I don't know, men like to just fuck something and then leave, which I know it's not all men, and if you are one of those men who don't do that, which I know is many, well then the answer is simple. Stop being a fucking pussy!
This is basically just about a woman who doesn't want to grow up and accept responsibility because she had abusive parents. Compare that to James Sunderland murdering his wife. Do you think that's on the same level of guilt of being drawn into Silent Hill? Actually...
Okay, so first of all, you already spoiled that she ended up killing a whole room of people on her wedding day, which again, on her wedding day, which means it also included her husband. So she killed everyone in the room, her husband, out of abuse. And that, I think, is a lot more grieving and a lot worse than, than a man who killed his wife because he was horny. So you're saying that in a story, something that causes much more grief is a man who, because he was horny, killed his wife, compared to someone who was forced into a marriage and then killed it, like a bunch of innocent people in that theory of unstableness, and then regretting killing a bunch of people. James killed one person. That's a bit of grief. She killed, like, a room. We already know, like, she killed a room of people. We don't even know how many people were there. She could have went on a spree. She could have made that dining hall look like a Hitman fucking playthrough for all we know. And yet, you're over here questioning why she's grieving by this much. I don't know, man. Maybe because they killed a whole room of people? Do I think killing a whole room of people is a lot worse than killing one person because you're horny? Yeah. Yeah, I do. In fact, if anything, you can even say that, do you think killing a whole room of people because you had parental abuse is more justified than James's? Yeah, because James's reason was he was horny. And because he couldn't fuck his wife because she was dying, he decided to kill her instead. So that way he could go find someone else to have sex with. That was the reason. Like, that's like literally what we find out is like he wanted her out of the way. That way he could find someone else. There are some people who say, let's put her out of her misery. You can say that all you want, but it's very known that, like, that's why you literally have a protagonist created by his own psyche who is literally just a horny version of his wife. He literally killed his wife because he was horny. I cannot. The fuck?